Today I am standing in front of a Rezvani tank. That's right, you heard it, tank. A car so equipped, so powerful, so deadly that even the military should be worried. Oh wait, are they listening?
This tank had been stolen from a local military base by a man with previous military training. No one knows for sure what he was trying to do, but the theory is that he was heading for government buildings in downtown San Diego.
So you're in the market for a tank, but let's be honest, you don't want to go through the frustrations and the inconveniences of breaking into a military base to get one. Look, I get it. You're frustrated, you don't know where to turn, we've all been there. But you see, I have the solution for you. A tank for the road. The Rezvani. Now let me level with you. I understand you're hesitant. Before you pull the trigger, you want to see, well, what else is on the market? See, the problem with that is, well, you're not exactly going to be able to find a tank on AutoTrader. And if you're trying to find one of these, well, good luck. But if you get it through them, you have the choice of 3 very reasonable and, well, very subtle options. All right, so the specific tank that we are standing in front of today is, well, the base, the lowest tier of the 3, if you can call this low. And basically I have the build sheet here because, well, although this car, it says on here, starts at 130,000, their website will say 165. I think their variants have changed. Really where these things get expensive is in the options. Allow me to list some of them off for you. Custom paint in this awesome satin gray, which you have to have, $15,000. What is this, a Jeep option? It just says Jeep and it's $33,000. It basically underneath in fine print says don't worry about it. Suspension, $5,500 seems fair. Side steps, $5,500. Tires, throw in for free, $0, and that's a lot of tire. Seats, $3,500, seems fair as well. Throwing in the tinted windows for free here as well, $0. Subwoofer, which everyone needs to have when you're in a big SUV so you can bump it and look like a rapper. That is $3,000. The biggest option of all of these, and the one you probably want the most, is to equip the base one with a V8 is $32,000, leaving this to a grand total of $240,000. Interesting thing is not that it has a V8, it's how you access it. All right, I was gonna show you under here, but I have absolutely no idea how to open this. I'll be right back. All right, so apparently the latch is in the wheel well. Oh, there it is. That's hilarious. What the hell? Is there like another latch here? Sorry, one more second. Hey, do you know if there's like a latch under the hood? Yeah, I can't open it. There is none? Apparently there is no latch, it's just really heavy. Oh my God. Ugh. Holy God. That is a workout. What the hell is this thing made of? All right, so if this tank isn't, say, enough tank for you, Rezvani's got the answer. Tier 2 now, it's called the Tank X, not to be confused with the iPhone X. See, the screens on those break, nothing on this breaks. And essentially that comes automatically with a V8 engine. On their website, it lists it as a starting price at $225,000. Now, believe it or not, there's actually a third tier. It's called the Tank Military Edition, and well, don't let those tough sounding words seem like a facade to fool you. It is tough. In fact, it's closer to a tank than anything, and on their website they list the starting price of that at $295,000. And that's the tier that we're going to be comparing to, well, the military tank that we've been questioning about breaking into the base to get as well. God, decisions. So somehow you've managed to narrow down the tank market. So basically we're going to be comparing, well, a military tank versus the military version of the tank. So for comparative reasons, let's put these two up head to head and see which one's the better value. Alright, so for this demonstration, the man who owns the actual military tank has a mustache, and the guy who owns the military version of the tank doesn't. I know this is confusing, you'll know what I mean, just wait 1 second. Well, does it have bulletproof windows and body panels? Check. Does it have an undercarriage that can protect you from IEDs and pipe bombs? Yeah. Does it have night vision capabilities? Yeah. Does it have unpoppable tire tracks? No, but it does have 37-inch run flats. You know what, mustache man? You're asking a lot of questions. So allow me to put your tank to the test. Do you have magnetic deadbolts on your doors? Do you have electrified door handles? Not exactly. Do you have an onboard PA system where you can yell at people to get out of your way? Good question. Do you have a smoke screen and tacks you can throw out the back of your car in case anyone's following you? Do you have a 707 horsepower Hellcat engine? Darn it, just leave me alone. Get a hold of yourself, man. Well then, I guess an actual military tank ain't quite gonna cut it. Now you're probably thinking this car is all military and no luxury. But you see, that's where you'd be wrong. Some of the proof is, well, it has Rolls-Royce suicide doors. But allow me to show you some of the luxury options. First of all, you have a full leather interior with contrast red stitching, an 8-inch screen display with Apple CarPlay enabled, and an Alpine sound system that will blow your off. But I have to say, this is probably not the car I would take to the country club. Now you're probably also thinking, well, the car's just a gimmick. I mean, Jamie Foxx and that guy who used to pimp rides on MTV have one, and they're not exactly Paris-Dakar champions, are they? Other than them, who really needs something like this on public roads? My counter to that would be, well, who really needs a car that can do 200 miles per hour? Your counter to that would be, yes, exactly. But my counter to that would be, well, it's just sometimes nice knowing you can do it. And every now and again, you might find a dusty, abandoned trail to have a little fun on. Now you have to admit, not too long ago, something like this even existing was pretty improbable. I mean, having an exotic SUV was just something that didn't connect in people's minds. SUVs were supposed to be practical, take your soccer children to whatever soccer thing they're doing, and then you drive home with a frown on your face. Until exotic car companies like, well, Porsche brought out a Cayenne and took a risk. And yes, all the 911 guys tried to crucify them for it, but nonetheless, they helped to pave the way for, well, exotic SUVs, where eventually today we see a crazy thing like a Mercedes 6x6 with 6 wheels on the road. That's nuts. And now, well, I guess we have tanks. That's also nuts. Now, I have a bit of a confession to make. You see, this thing didn't exactly start its life out as a tank. No, rather, it's technically a Jeep Wrangler. Yes, that's right, the car spiky-haired bros drive on the way to the beach because they don't have jobs or good relationships. But don't prejudge the person that drives this thing. You see, in my mind, there are 3 profiles of guys that drive raised SUVs. The first one is the tool with the small. The second one is the douche with the small. And then there's this guy. Don't mess with this guy. Not only because he could both kill you and out-lawyer you in the same breath, but he's probably the only guy that just may save you during an apocalypse because, well, he's got this thing. Alright, so I've told you its story. Now let's walk around this specific 2018 Rezvani tank with just under 800 miles. Now, obviously, it's finished in a crazy satin color, which only adds to the tank effect. It's got massive tires, massive wheels, crazy suspension internals, and angles galore. This is basically, well, if the Urus didn't exist, this would be the Lamborghini SUV. Because, I mean, it just looks like a freaking Reventon with all these different angles, especially in this color. You can't really identify if that's a light or a vent. And it's just really, obviously just crazy looking. It's purpose built. And if you want to get noticed, this is the car to do it in. And yes, this is built off of a Jeep Wrangler. So it's actually a very high body, but it's not very long. You have those limitations in the chassis. But before you cringe that it's off a Wrangler, you have to keep in mind the Wrangler is the base for some of the most successful off-road cars ever. And you got to keep in mind, this is a smaller company. They have to find ways to save money, and well, they found ways to really upgrade it in other ways. So there's nothing you can really do from that perspective. Now, some of the little features on it are, it has just lots of humps for no reason everywhere, which is something I guess you would want. Some bigger panel gap lines on it. Well, it has not the full military package, as I said, which you can get on this car with everything's bulletproof, but this back window, I believe, is bulletproof. You can see how thick that is. But look underneath, and it's just all purpose built. And there's hidden door handles, which I really like. I never liked door handles, and I think it just looks good when they're all hidden like that. It looks just stealth. Goes with the overall look of the car. Not a ton of room in here, is what I'll say. Obviously, you can move the seats back, but you're limited in that chassis, as I said before. The other funny thing is, obviously, it's very Jeepy on the inside. Here, this is the trunk. Everything on this car is super heavy. And, well, you have a lot of room for your fallen soldiers, let's say. Now, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have to put you down for a second. This has the optional V8 in here, the Hemi, 6.4 liter, over 500 horsepower, and well, it's plenty enough to take this thing up dirt hills, which I hope you are doing with it. All I can hope is that this thing doesn't become a status symbol, a glorified shopping bag carrier like you see, well, incredibly capable AMG G-Wagons do on Rodeo Drive. You see, for me, that's the same thing as a rich guy trying to have a tiger as a pet. Eventually that thing is going to want to rip your face off, so you might as well leave it where nature intended. Alright guys, so that is the story of the Rezvani tank. A tank you can drive in, well, your driveway. And that's what makes it so cool. It's the accessibility of something so insane, something that creates so much drama on the streets and has so much capability on the dirt. And I have to be honest, even filming this thing today, I had millions of people, that might be an exaggeration, lots of people coming up to the car, looking at it. And obviously I have to give Rancho Santa Fe Autos a huge thank you for letting me film this car today. This is the second car I've done with them, and they keep getting weirder, so I can't wait to see the next one. Guys, if you want to see what type of crazy inventory they have, check out their link in the description below. If you want to see me on more things, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course YouTube. If you want to see what type of equipment I use, check the Amazon links below. Guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.